Have you guys ever have you gotten to this point yet? Have you ever watched something and you're like 3/4 of the way through and you're like, I've seen this already? I do find it interesting. Like, you start to peel away a lot of layers of the stuff that we do in modern times, and then you're like, well, what do I end up with? You kind of end up with a whole lot of nothing.
I don't know exactly how this stuff happens, but somebody invents a new drug that like, oh, this is actually going to help so many people. Da, da, da. But then the company also happens to have like this like bank of money when shit goes bad, so that way they can pay people off.
So it cost us, $2 billion to make this thing. Let's make sure we set aside another $2 billion for the lawsuits. Like, they already know that something is imperfect.
He made a company that was super successful and helped him become extremely wealthy. Now, why is it that person's responsibility to use that money that they earned to go and do things? Like, it's their money. They can do whatever they want.
It's hard to know what people's intentions are, though. Even with Musk, like seems like everyone's all fired up about Musk. Everyone's all pumped about him. But we don't know. I think the biggest mistake is just thinking that there's an end to it. That's probably the biggest mistake.
But I've seen comments of people being like, oh, look at you guys being greedy, or look at you guys selling out and all this type of shit. I'm just like, well, I mean, we're trying to give as much information as we can, but we also do want to make a living.
I can't control what somebody else thinks or says, but I think it's beautiful. Like, it's awesome what we have here. We have a great team. We got great people here.
If we were to do like 10 ads per episode, it's like, okay, shit.
Listen, it's not like we're selling penis pumps over here or something. Like, that would be preposterous.
Want a bigger dick? Click the link in the description. PowerProject family, how's it going? And listen up. We talk about meat and nutrition all the time on this podcast, from the carnivore diet, keto, low carb, IFYM. And the cool thing is that we've partnered with a great company, Piedmontese Beef. Yes, it's beef. And the great thing about Piedmontese Beef is this: no matter if you're someone who's dieting on low fats, high fats, carnivore, any diet, they have different types of cuts of steak that are going to fit your diet perfectly. From the flat iron that has, Andrew, what is the macros on that thing?
So that one has 46 grams of protein and only 4 grams of fat for the entire steak.
And if you want fattier cuts, they have ribeyes, center cuts. They have literally everything for no matter what diet you do. So you can't use the excuse of your diet and tell yourself that you can't eat red meat. So Andrew, how can they get Piedmontese Beef?
Yes, man. So that's at Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your entire order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Again, Piedmontese.com, promo code POWER. All links down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
All right. Do you say it like that, like to like channel SpongeBob or something? Because I've heard you say that multiple times. It's always like, I'm ready. Like,
it is. I like SpongeBob.
Hey, SpongeBob's a good cartoon.
So I listened to a little bit of it for the first time.
SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Wait. Whoa. Back up. You never really watched SpongeBob?
His pants are square.
It's not that I've never really watched it. I've never watched it. Like, ever.
Well, it makes sense. So your age group makes sense. And it makes sense because you have children. So you mainly watched it.
That's my excuse.
So it was on at the Bodega Bay house.
Of course it was. It's probably like the default channel.
Yes. We were trying to eat food, which I got this from Sean Baker. Steak, apples, and some kind of fancy cheese.
Yes.
It's fucking phenomenal. My family loves it.
Mixed together?
All together. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so good. It
just
is
like on the same plate, or
yes,
like literally together?
Like, well, on the same plate. So like
okay.
not like the cheese isn't like melted on the steak and like that sort of thing. Like all cut up and it's really, really good. And then all of a sudden there's just a really just loud, high pitched, annoying, just constant noise. I'm like, what is that?
I'm ready.
And then Jasmine's like, oh, it's SpongeBob. And I'm like, we need to turn this off now. Like, ASAP.
You're such a grumpy old man.
When it was so annoying, I'm like, people, watch this. This is awful.
Yeah, man, it's A1 TV. Squidward and his clarinet, Patrick and his fucking home base.
Do you guys remember the annoying orange?
Sexy Sandy? Sandy was hot.
She's from Texas.
She is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandy can get it.
Accent.
Texas, yeah, Texans are. They got a little extra junk in the trunk, too.
Yeah,
Texans
Sandy
are thick.
the squirrel.
I couldn't stand it.
Man.
You weren't able to watch it?
Nope.
Mm.
Nope.
What'd you switch to?
Just turned it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I do with the TV a lot of times. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this thing.
Oh, that is really, really hard.
Just streaming all the different remotes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of remotes nowadays.
I sat down the other day because I think, so Stephanie was out. So it was just me and the kiddo. I'm like, well, what the fuck do we do? Like, let's see what's on TV. And I'm like, what do people watch? Like,
that's what I was going to actually ask you. When you said, let's see what's on TV, did you go to a streaming service? Or did you go flip through channels?
I tried flipping through channels. This was at the house. This was a different time. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, not to sound like a fucking, like a dick, but like, I just was like, I don't know what people watch. Like, if I'm going to watch something, it's going to like be streaming something. Like, I'm going to go to the TV for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm just like flipping around, like, there ain't shit on. Like, I don't know.
How come there's not like a home base with streaming? So it's like you just have to pick a thing, and then you have to rifle through that. And like having a little timer, like this little sand timer that we have for the podcast, that'd be amazing to have that next to your TV, because it's like it takes so long to select something. And if you have a family,
you got a shot clock.
You're trying to figure out like what to watch. It can be brutal, but there's like not an app. How is there not an app for that? Like to know like what's the cool new stuff? I know you can like search it individually, but then you're like on Netflix. And it's like, what about HBO Plus? And what about the other ones?
Prime Video actually has a cool little feature where somehow it'll know what else you're subscribed to. So it'll show like the most popular things on Netflix or Showtime or Hulu.
Oh yeah, like the app, the Fire Stick.
No, like the Prime Video app.
Oh, the actual.
The actual Prime Video app. Yeah. But I was just thinking about this, like.
But the Prime Video app won't tell you about stuff that's not on Amazon, right?
It will.
Oh, it will.
Yeah, like it'll show you the stuff that's on Showtime, and then you could click it and then like open that stuff up on the Prime Video app. It's weird.
Have you guys ever have you gotten to this point yet? Have you ever watched something and you're like 3/4 of the way through and you're like, I've seen this already?
Oh yeah. But
it dawns on you way fucking later.
You see, when did that start happening to you? What age? Because that hasn't happened to me yet. So I'm wondering, am I due? Is this like an old guy thing?
Yeah, it's definitely an older thing. And like I said, I'm like ahead of like my time because of my, I've hung out with nothing but older people my whole life. So yeah, I've done that shit a lot.
I'm very aware if I've seen something. I'm very aware if I've seen something. I'm one of those people, if I start something, I must finish.
I did it recently with that movie, Dredd, like the Judge Dredd movie, the recent one.
Is it Colin Farrell?
I don't know. He never takes off his helmet, but it's with it's with people, and I'm watching it. I'm like, oh yeah, I have seen this. It's anyways, yeah. So it happened pretty recently, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What were you going to say though? You were hoping that there's something else on there? I don't know. You were about
on Amazon.
Something. Yeah, no, I was wondering because like you remember as a kid. When I was a kid, you'd have Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and different channels, and you'd wait for what's on at this time.
Right.
Kids don't do that anymore, right? Like I'm wondering, kids are probably just watching streaming stuff all the time.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
Like whatever they want when they want it. It's a great time to be a kid.
A lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pick up whatever they want, and then now they're supposed to be like paying attention in class and stuff. I don't know how you would do that nowadays because you don't have to ever pay attention to stuff that you normally don't want to in whenever you have a tablet or phone near you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I like it's called My Movies Anywhere. So when you buy, like, sometimes if you buy like a Blu-ray or something, it's like, oh, it's got the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital version of
who
whatever.
Who the fuck even buys DVDs anymore?
I'm just explaining.
Yeah. I know, but I'm just like thinking to myself, does anyone out there buying Blu-ray anything? Like,
somebody is.
I think I have a DVD player somewhere in the garage, but
your Xbox is a DVD player.
Oh, anyway. When you buy stuff off of like whether it be one of those discs, whether it be like Amazon or like some other platform where you can buy digital movies, it all can pump into My Movies Anywhere, like no matter where you get it from, and you can watch that on your Fire Stick or like like your phone and stuff. So it's like your digital library all gets consolidated into this one app, and it's pretty dope because you could easily load that up pretty quickly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you're gonna find a movie that is on Netflix and your son loves it and he watches it every single day, and it's going to be called Despicable Me. And then they decide to take that shit off, and you go out and you have to buy it Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Did you guys see my brother do the trap bar deadlift with 733 pounds?
This was recent?
Freaking wait. I think I saw it. I didn't know 700 pounds.
Okay.
733 pounds.
I guess Andrew's about to pull it up.
Yeah.
Man, Chris's hips just, he handles out all of it.
Titanium. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, come on. Type.
I don't know how he did it.
He did this recently, huh?
Yeah, he did it just like 2 days ago. I think he's
crazy.
Celebrating like 8 years of sobriety or something like that.
Damn.
Mute it so it's not so loud.
Yeah, he just got fired up. I mean, it's a shorter range of motion. He's got the wagon wheels on there, and he's got the going with the higher trap bar side. So he was like, it's cheap. It's cheap. I was like, no, it's 733
He's so
pounds.
hard on himself all
It's
the
still
time.
733.
Yeah.
Like you that's a lot of weight, man.
Yeah, and he did it really easy. I guess he said he like misloaded the first time, and he went to pull on like 825, and he kind of like started tweaking something. He's like, I don't think I should pull on it anymore. And he was like, oh, whoops, I'm a plate ahead of what I thought it was.
That's incredible.
I don't know how he did that, but
That
when he
looked good.
mix pounds and kilos, things get weird.
Yeah. Never carry the one.
Those wagon wheels are a great tool for a lot of people because, like, honest, you don't have to deadlift all the way from the ground if you don't want to. Some people are gonna be like, it's not whatever, but no, fuck them. It's a deadlift.
They were so smart to come up with that idea. Where do you think it came from?
Those people at Rogue, they're real smart. Anyway, I saw a clip that caught my attention. I listened to the clip when it happened in the first place, when Rogan had Sadhguru on. I thought it was a really interesting interview, but I maybe wasn't paying attention to the whole thing. So there was like a segment where Sadhguru kept repeatedly saying "within you" over and over again. That caught my attention because of the brand. Within You is my supplement brand. But I just thought it was a really interesting conversation where Rogan was speaking, I think in a very realistic way of like, hey, this is what people think, and this is the mode of a lot of people. They kind of think in these terms, and he's basically expressing like, I'm one of them. I think that these things are greedy, and then they kind of go back and forth. But I thought the conversation was really interesting, and it's always awesome to hear people like work their way through it. They still might have disagreed in the end. It kind of sounded like Rogan still had his beliefs and Sadhguru had his beliefs. But I do find it interesting. Like you start to peel away a lot of layers of the stuff that we do in modern times. And then you're like, well, what do I end up with? You kind of end up with a whole lot of nothing. In this clip, they're talking about money. And Rogan's saying, hey, maybe some of these pharmaceutical companies are greedy because they already have money. They already do really well. But are they literally just trying to make more money, or are they making products that are like, are they paying attention to potential issues that people have? And then they're digging up research and they're digging up information from the scientists and all the people they have working for them. I would imagine most of the people that work for these companies are probably well-meaning people. They probably work very, very hard. They're probably extremely intelligent. They probably paid a lot of money to go to school, and they probably have a lot vested in the interest of moving things forward. I know it's easy just to look at like big pharma and think that they're bad. But you can look at any big company and think that when you start to look at like the companies that manufacture cars and all these things, but it's like, are they just trying to make a profit, or are they trying to make cars that look nice, that run well, so people can transport themselves around easier? So I just think it just brings up a lot of interesting stuff, and that's what I was thinking for today.
Yeah, we can play some of the clip, but it had me think about a little bit of like when one thinks about the individual versus when one thinks about like the collective group. Because when I was paying attention to this clip, I was thinking that when Sadhguru was talking, he was probably thinking a lot about individuals who are getting richer, attaining money, etc. How individuals, when they're doing things like that, it's like it typically isn't greed. Typically, I think it's like trying to improve, trying to become better, right? Whereas Rogan, when he was talking about a lot of that stuff, it did seem like he was talking about like collective greed, big company greed. Like when a business is formed, and then you have to have the business be successful, and then you have all these people that are working for the company, at a certain point, you can't necessarily think about
You have to think about the company and not the people.
You have to think about the company and not the people. And then when you think about the company, there are going to be a lot of people that end up doing well and profiting, and some people that are somewhat left with the residual effects that could be negative. Not everyone is benefiting from it. So it's like a tough thing. But when I think about a lot of things in fitness, I think about the individual. I don't think about how it's going to affect the group, right? So everyone, it's like when you play the clip, I think you'll see what I'm talking about there. But
that's a really good point, though, because like when I think about it, like I'll think about the pharmaceutical company, like the person that, I don't know exactly how this stuff happens, but somebody invents a new drug that like, oh, this is actually going to help so many people, But then the company also happens to have like this like bank of money when shit goes bad, so that way they can pay people off. And you hear about that, it's like, oh, you're just covering your own ass. Like, then you start to get the two, they start to come together, right? Like, oh, this person works for this company and now this company is making millions. And then when somebody gets hurt, they just pay that person some hush money and they keep going and making more money. So that's actually a really good point. I never really thought of it that way, to distinguish the two different entities in regards to like the person that invented something that truly wants to help people and the company that just has to keep the wheels turning.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's kind of the price of doing business, So a car company could spend money on X, Y, and Z, and they're trying to make this new great advanced car. In the process of making this new advanced car, they already are aware, because they have people that are on their staff that are geniuses. They say, we're going to get sued for that. We're going to get sued for that. And we're going to get sued for that. So it cost us, $2 billion to make this thing. Let's make sure we set aside another $2 billion for the lawsuits. Like, they already know that something is imperfect. Is that greedy? Is that wrong? It's like, I make products. It's like, you got to kind of get the products out there, and you do have to like service the people. So it's like hard to figure out. Obviously there's some really fucked up things that people and big companies have done where they've covered things up and they've definitely twisted the truth to try to advance. But man, is it a gray area, because as Sadhguru points out, it's just being like judgmental. Like, could someone flip the script and put that on me and say he's greedy? Could someone flip the script and say, well, it seems like Rogan has plenty of money. Why would he even bother doing another podcast? Is he egomaniac? Like, what is that for? Like, what is he doing? And then people say, well, you provide for your family, and like, because you gain more money, then you're paying for more things. So some people have an understanding of like, well, it just seems like you are advancing and you're getting better and you enjoy that and you want to keep doing that. But are these things for some sort of external validation? I would say, like, if I'm being honest, yeah, I think they are. I think, so I don't have any problem with saying that. I don't only do stuff to like better everybody around me. A lot of times it is selfish. A lot of times it is for me. A lot of times I would enjoy making more money. A lot of times I would enjoy these things. But I kind of look at some things a little differently. Like, I don't really think some of these versions of what somebody might consider to be greedy, I don't really consider them to be very harmful. I also don't think it's harmful to not necessarily always be humble. I think if you want to celebrate and you want to show stuff and you want to talk about stuff, I think it's reasonable. I don't have any control over somebody else's interpretation of how they feel about something. But Sadhguru hit the nail on the head when he talked about external validation. It's all about external validation. So Rogan, I don't think he's like hearing exactly what he's saying, but whether you're on the pharmaceutical, big pharma company side, or whether you're on the individual side, that individual who may have greed is in the wrong in the first place, because they're seeking external validation through trying to be happy. And Sadhguru's entire point is, you shouldn't necessarily need that, because everything that you need and everything that you need is already inside. It's already within you. The answers are within you. However, it gets to be tricky, because what if you're a person that needs a pharmaceutical? Like, what if you're sick? We can kind of talk about all these cool things and of being positive and all these different things, but if you're sick, fuck, man, sometimes we need that money from that same company that we just said was greedy. So
yeah, it made me think about real quick, Elon Musk buying Twitter. An interesting thing that I saw from quite a bit of people is He buys Twitter for $44 billion, but that could have been money that could have helped.
Fuck off.
Helped lower income individuals or people who needed it, right? But it's like, who says it's like that individual's responsibility? Like, he made a company that was super successful and helped him become extremely wealthy. Now, why is it that person's responsibility to use that money that they earned to go and do things? Like, it's their money. They can do whatever they want. Now, usually it is uber wealthy people who are extremely philanthropic. Like Bill Gates has given a bunch of money away, Warren Buffett, et cetera. I don't know about Bezos, but it's like, was that a greedy choice to buy Twitter, or was it so that that platform that actually has it's literally like a pillar of speech between different political spectrums? Was it his responsibility to go there and try to allow everyone to be able to say what they wanted there, since there are certain groups that were getting deplatformed and weren't getting a voice on the public forum, right? It's a weird one, but it's like people are calling him greedy because of that choice to purchase Twitter. But it's just very weird. But again, it's the perception of what he did, or it's individual's perception of that being greedy or that being something that's beneficial for society.
I heard that there's like text messages between like Bill Gates and Elon Musk. You guys hear about
Really?
You guys hear about any of that?
Yeah.
And,
I didn't hear about
Gates was like asking, he was asking Elon Musk to donate money to something environmentally, and then
And he's like, "You're gonna stop shorting this stock or whatever in my company?" Because
Oh shit.
yeah, but then Musk was also like, no one's done more for the environment than me, so go fuck yourself, basically.
Nice.
Is what he kind of said, just because of the cars and the whether he has or hasn't, that's debatable. But I thought that was interesting,
Yeah.
whether the way that he kind of laid that out. It's hard to know what people's intentions are, though, even with Musk. Like seems like everyone's all fired up about Musk, everyone's all pumped about him. But we don't know. We don't know what the guy's going to do. He's like, oh, we're going to have this open source social media thing, whatever. Everything's out in the open. Will everything be out in the open? Will people be able to it's when you get into like morals and stuff, things get to be really dicey. It's very hard for me to like inflict or push my beliefs on what I think other people's morals should be. I think that's a mistake a lot of times.
Yeah, it's low hanging fruit, and because I want you to finish this one, but it's low hanging fruit. But what I was just saying, it's like, okay, all the people that are really upset at Elon Musk for not ending world hunger, it's like, hey, the former owners of Twitter just made a lot of money. Hit them up and have them solve all those problems that he didn't. Because they're all they're really fucking rich now. They're all billionaires.
Yeah. So first, Elon Musk made a tweet. I don't know if you pulled up, Andrew, but he posted a tweet of Bill Gates, like the pregnant man emoji, and side by side with Bill Gates. And it's like, in case you wanted to lose a boner fast.
I did see that. I liked it.
Yeah. But then there was another tweet where he was talking about Bill Gates. He's like, yeah, but I didn't leak it to New York Times. They must have got it through friends of friends. I heard from multiple people at TED that Gates still had $500 million short against Tesla. So he was shorting a Tesla stock, which is why I asked him. So it's not exactly top secret. So after Bill Gates asked him to like donate money, he's like, are you still shorting that stock in my company for $500 million? Don't ask me for money.
Oh my god, that's so good.
It's but it's funny that he makes that all public. I think that's kind of fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
but we should play this side.
I was gonna say, let's play this clip. Yeah.
PowerProject family, how's it going? Now, a lot of you guys are lifters, athletes. You're serious about the gym, and we are too. And that's why we've been using Slingshot products for years, all right? You have the original Slingshot, obviously the glittery pink hip circle, which is my personal favorite. But if you don't like that, then you have the normal hip circle that's used to warm up the hips. But on the website, they have tons of equipment, knee sleeves, elbow sleeves, the gangster wraps right there. So you need to go check them out. And Andrew, can you tell them more about it?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Yeah. Let's see. I won't play it all. Maybe I will.
This guy's dope, by the way. If people haven't heard of him, you should listen to him.
Okay.
So what is greed and what is not greed?
I'll tell you what greed is. If you make choices where you know that the thing that you're doing, whether you're distributing a product or whether you're causing an action, that is going to be detrimental to human beings, but you cover up the data to hide the fact that it's going to be detrimental because you want to maximize your profit and you don't care about the negative impact it has on people because you're only thinking about money and you're already substantially wealthy. That, by definition, is being greedy, right?
See, by definition, it's like this. Somebody is dreaming of $1 million. He thinks that is the ultimate goal in his life. But a guy who has $1 million is wanting to be a billionaire.
Right.
One who is a billionaire, he looks at somebody who has $100 billion, he thinks at least that much he must have.
Right.
So I'm saying, instead of being judgmental about this, human well-being is sought from outside. That is the whole problem. See, human experience essentially happens from within. Whether it's your joy or misery, comes from within you, isn't it? Maybe somebody or something can stimulate it from outside, but still it happens within you. Joy and misery happens from within you, pain and pleasure happens from within you, agony and ecstasy happens from within you. Every human experience happens from within you. But in pursuit of happiness, we're turning the world upside down. Because this is the case of there was an old potato farmer. One day he wanted to eat apples, so he went to an apple tree. But by habit, he started digging for the apples.
Amazing.
Till the tree came down on him, because he's a potato farmer. So right now, human beings have become like this. They have gotten used to this, that they think by getting this, by getting that, by having one more thing and one more thing, they're going to be happy.
Yes.
But human experience happens from within. If you take charge of your interiority, being peaceful and happy is a natural consequence of that. But for convenience and comfort, we do things outside. To create impact, we do things outside. So this experience of, if human beings were naturally joyful by their own nature, they would only do what is needed, nothing more, nothing less. But right now, they're in pursuit of happiness. You can't stop them.
Yeah, they are in pursuit of happiness, but they're also, again, in pursuit of profit because it's a number-based system, so it becomes like a game, and you get connected to corporations. When you're in a corporation, there's a diffusion of responsibility because you don't think about your own involvement in what the corporation is doing. You think about your role, what you do as a job, and then you try to maximize profit. And it's a game that people get wrapped up in.
Yeah, but that is…
Doesn't make them happy, you're absolutely correct.
No, it's in pursuit of happiness, but…
What's in pursuit of success?
See, most human beings cannot be happy if they're not successful, isn't it?
There's a lot of that, yes.
No,
and then they get medicated to help them get happy. That's a lot of people. I mean, what percentage of people…
Yeah, it's all good. They just go back and forth about medication and shit after that.
Yeah, this is an interesting topic. Like, I don't know what the right or wrong answer is to some of that. But I think, trying to think about like all of your well-being coming from within you is an interesting one. Because, like, what about your significant other, and what about people that are in your life that you, have just a really high value assignment to? Like, these people really matter to you. In some cases, somebody makes a post and it just doesn't get that many likes, doesn't go very far, and then your interpretation of that is, I didn't do a very good job. So then it could lead to somebody being sad. It could lead to somebody being mad. It could lead to somebody being depressed. Like, there's all kinds of things that can, go along with that, right? And even if you have like millions of followers, if it's just lower than what it used to be, the amount of likes and comments and stuff, like, oh my God, it's not 20,000 or it's not 200,000. Then that could lead a person who has not trained some of that before. That could lead them to feeling upset. And so I think one thing to try to do about some of that is to try to train yourself so that you're not so moved one way or the other. But I also think that it can be very difficult. So I agree with both people, I guess, as my point is, like, I think that Rogan is someone who is a realist and he doesn't mind feeling his emotions and he doesn't mind acting on his emotions because he's very animated. He's very fired up. He's very excited. But he doesn't overreact to stuff either. When somebody says something on his show, he'll go, that's not right. Like, and then he'll go back and forth with them. And I think that's one of the things that makes his show work so well is that he does have some reactionary facets to him. And I think that sometimes that can be beneficial.
It's very reminiscent of like, we all get caught up in the hedonic treadmill. That's kind of what that's called. It's like, for example, you really want a Tesla and a lot of the things that you're doing are trying to lead you towards being able to get that car. You envision that car, you envision driving in that fucking spaceship across the street, and then you get it, and for like 5 days, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. But then that feeling of, excitement and happiness from the driving around that Tesla, it's like, it becomes normal. It's now your new normal. And then you're like, what's next? It's like, like, as human beings, we're always trying to find progress. And what he was saying there, it's like, well, it's kind of like what we were talking about when you're trying to go through a transformation or when you're trying to make different changes to your body. Number one, when you get to that new body, you're going to like what you're able to do. But at the end of the day, you're still you. In the inside, you're still the same person. So at this moment in time with what you have and what you're doing, can you learn to appreciate, be grateful for those things and love those things about yourself, and then seek to do more? But understand that just by the attainment of more doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happier. You need to try to be happy with what you have now, because there's no external thing with all the wealthy people that we've talked about, like money can help out a lot of things. Let's not fucking trick ourselves. Like the more money you make, the easier life can get in certain aspects. But at a certain point, just making more and more and more money won't bring you extra happiness. And if that's where you're trying to seek your happiness from having a car or a certain house or whatever, that's going to become normal. And then you're just going to keep seeking external things when, like you did mention, you have to find that within yourself.
I think the biggest mistake is just thinking that there's an end to it. That's probably the biggest mistake. So it's great to have a goal and say, I can't wait until I'm able to make this amount of money. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to buy that new car. That gives me some things to look forward to. And these are things that I expect of myself, and I'm going to earn a skill set. I'm going to work for a skill set that's going to allow me to afford these things. And that's going to be my life. I'm going to shape it this way. I'm going to carve out my character. I just saw something the other day where the word character actually means to chisel, to carve out. So you get to kind of, I think you get to carve out the life that you want.
Yeah.
It just might be like somebody might start out with a lot more stuff to fucking carve out than another person. And that's just kind of the way the life is. Unfortunately, we all come from different backgrounds and different spaces, and not everyone is afforded the same opportunities. But I believe that everyone does have a chisel that they could utilize to carve out the life that they want.
Yeah. And, I didn't grow up very wealthy. We had everything we needed, but like everything we did it ourselves. Like we never took the car to go get the oil change. Like to this day, I still change my oil, but
you got to show me how.
I know dude, on a Camry is so easy.
That's probably in part though, your dad's mechanic and
correct.
mechanically sound and probably kind of likes a lot of car work, right?
Yeah. It's also not fair because like my dad's he's an older guy. So or he was born, a certain time where it's like, oh, we want a deck outside. All right, I'll do it. Like, he could do everything.
Fucking man.
Yeah, exactly. He's a man. But, I have to take my car in to get some recalls done. Like they always send me shit and I'm always ignoring it. It's like, oh, your airbag's not going to work. I'll be fine. But I need to get something fixed on my car. Same thing. I've always bought parts and put them in the car. It was really nice to be on the phone and be like, hey, I need this PCV valve replaced. Like, can you guys just do it while you're doing all this stuff? Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I didn't ask how much it was going to cost. Like I'm not really tripping about it. Cause like, I know it's going to be fine, but I don't know, go back maybe a year and a half ago. And I would have been like, fuck, I have to take care of this myself. It's really nice to be able to do that. Now, does that mean I'm being greedy? Like, I don't not at all. Right. Like, I think I'm good. It affords me some free time to be with the family. Like, if I can pursue more of that, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. Like, the greed thing, when they were both talking, again, like when Sadhguru was talking about it, he's thinking, like he says, man and people, like he's talking about individuals, and Joel's looking at corporations. Right. But I do think that like with a lot of things, just individuals, when they do more and more, they're just trying to find a new level of happiness. They're trying to get better. Each individual is trying to improve. That's why it is important to look at individual situations, not generalize people as groups. It's like it's funny. Like with comments we see on YouTube with the podcast, right? All of our sponsors, we love the shit that our sponsors give us, and we actually think it's going to be beneficial for the audience. And we do ads, and those ads help us make money because we're bringing the audience something that we actually do like and we appreciate that's going to be beneficial. But I've seen comments of people being like, oh, look at you guys being greedy, or look at you guys selling out and all this type of shit. I'm just like, well, I mean, we're trying to give as much information as we can, but we also do want to make a living. Like, we want to be able to do this, learn for ourselves, bring it to the audience, help people become better, but we also need to be able to make money with it. So it's like some people will perceive that as greed and some people will see it for what it is. It's like, we have good shit here. We have good shit that we're going to give to you guys. So it's perception. It's what people think.
Having money is a really nice thing too. It does build a lot of convenience. Like, it's nice to be able to do stuff out of this building, you know, with this gym and all this equipment that we have. And it's like, I can't control what somebody else thinks or says, but I think it's beautiful. Like, it's awesome what we have here. We have a great team. We got great people here. I care about everyone here deeply. If other people think that I don't care about people in particularly, I don't have any control over that. Yeah. Like, you guys know how much time I spend with you guys and how much time we all spend together and how much we have like invested into each other to see each other get more successful and grow. Again, I don't have it outside of that. I can't be hurt by a comment from somebody when it comes to stuff like that, because I feel like at this point I'm impervious to it, because I'm like, that's just it's just inaccurate. Like, it's just not the truth. It's not the reality that I live in every day. So I think there's probably a lot of people that are like that. Maybe occasionally you're going to run into people that aren't, and maybe those people are doing everything all the time just to serve their ego or something along those lines. But I remember having a conversation with Jake, and it's been amazing having a child that is like, you know, growing up and they turn into like a person, you know, they turn into like an adult kind of before your eyes. But kind of even when he was young, because he's a very smart kid, like, we've had conversations that are pretty deep. I remember him saying something about Jeff Bezos, and he like didn't like Jeff Bezos or something. And he was like, I think he's like, he didn't say greedy, I don't think, but he said something along those lines. And I said, well, hold on a second, let's talk about it. Because we always have conversation around stuff like, what does that mean? What are you talking about? And he's just like, well, he just has like billions and billions of dollars and like the richest guy in the world. And like, he's still like building out his company. And it seems like that company's like, you know, just kind of mowing down everybody else. And I said, what you're saying is a complaint of a lot of people. So there definitely could be some truth to that. But when did it become something that you're not supportive of? Because this guy started his business the same way your mom and I started our business, which was in our home. So like, where's the switch? It's like, okay, you're doing great. That's awesome. Hey man, congratulations. You're a millionaire. Hey man, congratulations. The company makes 10 million a year, you know, or whatever the number is. But then when does it not get to be congratulations anymore? When is it like, you're an evil fuck?
Stop it.
Yeah. You made 500. Yeah. You made $3 billion. Like, you should fucking stop. I think sometimes people see us in the gym and they think the same thing. I think there's like a joke from a comedian, right? He's like, I forget who said it, but
you lifted all the weights, bro.
Yeah. You should go the fuck home. Go eat a cheeseburger, right?
I don't know if it was Jim Gaffigan or Louis C.K. I think it was Jim Gaffigan when he's like, dude, you're done.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That sounds like that was good. That actually
that's
sounded
what it
like
is.
Gaffigan.
Yeah, it was Gaffigan.
It's like, you did it already.
Yeah. But
I don't know if you know this. You did it right.
Yeah, you asked the question that I literally just like wrote it down. But like, yeah, where do you draw the line? So when it comes to like us and doing YouTube ads, like, okay, you guys have monetization set. So does everybody else. And it's like, oh, now you guys do commercials. Like, okay, you were cool with one, but not cool with the other one. I can understand sometimes if we were to do like 10 ads per episode, it's like, okay, shit.
Listen, it's not like we're selling penis pumps over here or something. Like,
Which
that would
we
be
are.
Preposterous.
Want a bigger dick? Click the link in the description.
Tell them how they
Wink,
can save.
wink. You should put a little, make a sound. Ding.
Yeah, or boing.
Cash register noise too.
Yeah, it's so bit.ly/PowerProject1.
Really had it ready.
Yeah, that's what it is. But you're right, though. Like, where do you fucking draw the line? Like, I drive so bringing up my car again, I drive a busted ass Subaru that didn't pass smog. That's why I need to get this part fixed. You guys are cool with me now. If I pull up in a Tesla, then it's like, this fucking asshole. You know, like, it's like, like, when do you cross over to the evil side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a weird
Well, we
thing.
know with you that you're already evil.
Yeah. It's just
You don't like SpongeBob.
Hide it very well.
SpongeBob makes you unhappy. SpongeBob is the epitome of happiness. He's the epitome of human happiness.
I've made and laughed at some memes, some SpongeBob memes. Yeah. They're pretty good. Those are funny.
Ooh, but I was actually going to mention something because I don't know if you or Mark just said it during this podcast, but it's like your significant other, right? It's you, right? It's a wild responsibility for, like, you want to be happy around the person you're with, and you want to, when you're around them, you want to feel good and feel better. But to expect that somebody can make you happy, that's a tough thing. Like,
except when it comes to a blowjob.
Hey, I'll never have a frown on my face. Hey, I'll be real quick. Let me talk about my happiness real quick, bruh. This isn't too much. My girl loves to suck my dick.
Oh my god,
she actually,
you won the lottery.
I'm so grateful. Like, sometimes I get home, she's just like, I'm just like, yes,
that's amazing.
So, like, okay, she makes me happy, but at the end of the day, too,
she's got total control over me.
But I am gonna say this, like, I don't expect, like, if I'm not feeling up on a certain day, I don't think it's her responsibility to make me happy, right? And she also expects, like, if she's not feeling good, like, I can try, but it's not my responsibility to make her happy. And I think it's very interesting when people put that responsibility on the person they're with to bring them happiness. That's a fucking weight.
Yeah, it's a lot,
right? It's a weight. It's like you kind of have to have that within you. You got to be happy with yourself. You got to be grateful for what you have. You got to be able to do that for yourself, and you can't expect that from somebody else. They can add to it, but if they were gone, you still should be able to have a level of happiness.
Yeah,
if they
sets
don't
you up
have
for disappointment.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, it's going to be very difficult to, like, try to. They're not going to really come out of it. They're going to have that. That's going to happen over and over and over again. And I think, one of the things about this podcast is, like, we try to error correct. We try to learn from our mistakes, and we try to continue to figure out ways of getting better. And I just like to examine a lot of this stuff. I love listening to conversations that are like that, where people are talking back and forth. Each person is speaking their piece and trying to make a point and trying to, like, move something forward. It's like, otherwise, what's the value of some of these conversations? And then I just have to always do my best to be open and as honest with myself as I possibly can. And then I can kind of make my own judgments on how I am or who I am or what I'm doing. Like, social media is a weird one. Like, if I didn't shoot this for social media, I actually had Graham ask me one day, because I was like, at some point, like, I just need to be, like, away from some of it, not all of it, but some of it, like, especially, like, social media stuff. And he's like, then what would you do with yourself? Because, he's all about it. He loves it. I was like, the same thing I did before social media. Just still train my ass off and still enjoy the process.
Yeah.
That's it. Andrew, take us on out of here, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. I really want to hear what you guys have to say on today's topic about the greediness, the non-greediness, the having stuff within you. It's incredible. I thought that was a really dope way that he put it. Yeah. And speaking of within you, head over to markbellslingshot.com and check out on the top. We got supplements, and it says the Within You tab. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save 10%. I think. Sorry, it's been a hot minute. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. And subscribe to this YouTube channel if you guys are not subscribed already. And follow the podcast at MB PowerProject on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. Nsima, where are you at? At
Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube. And Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter, Mark.
Oh, fuck the Black Panther. He's got Mind Bullet.
Oh, he does?
Shit. He's going to fuck up Marky Moo.
Oh, shit. And Marky Moo's standing on the Mind Bullet.
To be continued.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.